Most people do not become weak by accident. They become weak adapting over the years. They adapt to comfort, to distractions, to low standards, to being told what to think, what to want, and even what matters. And after enough years of all this, they don't even realize they've been shaped. They're just calling it living the dream. Ever heard anyone say that one? I know I have, more times than I'd like. This is the real problem. Common doesn't feel dangerous when you're living inside it. It feels familiar. It feels reasonable. It feels socially approved. It looks like working all week, numbing on the weekends, spending money you haven't earned yet, and avoiding the real discomforts. And then calling that adulthood. It's always being busy, but never building anything meaningful. Always reacting, but never directing your life in a forward direction long enough. A lot of people think they're free because nobody's physically controlling them. But if your habits dictate your days, if your beliefs are shaped by the media, and if your standards are set by the crowd, then you may be moving with the calendar, but you're not leading your life. You're drifting with it. And that is why most people stay common. Not because they're incapable, not because they're cursed, and not because they lack potential. They stay common because they haven't learned to see the system that's been shaping them. And if you can't see it, you can never break it. Stick with me here, because I'm going to show you the one thing that most people do every day without realizing it's keeping them common. Plus, at the end, I'm going to give you a filter you can start using this week to break the pattern. Now, the real question is not, why are people lazy? The real question we need to be asking is, what makes an ordinary person slowly accept a life below their own potential and then defend it as if it were their own choice for decades? Everyone has some form of ambition at some point. Most people gotta want more, whether that be a better body, more income, deeper relationships, more peace in their life, more purpose and fulfillment. But simply wanting more and achieving more are not the same. Somewhere along the line, most people have developed the ability to stop judging clearly. They stop using their imagination. They stop critically thinking. They stop questioning the incentives around them. They stop noticing how comfort has slowly turned into dependence for themselves, and then start living inside this mental loop they never intentionally wrote. Wake up, consume, cope, complain. Sound familiar? This is the common cycle for most people. And honestly, it asks very little of you. It doesn't force you to confront your weaknesses. It doesn't require any ownership, but the bill will and always comes later. It comes in the body through sickness, the bank account through poor credit and debt stacked against you, relationships falling apart or shallow, and the biggest one is self-respect. It's those moments when you know you were built for more, but you've trained yourself to settle. That, my friend, is what this channel is all about. It's about viewing the world from a different lens and asking yourself the deep questions that most people ignore their entire lives. When people hear conversations like this, they usually have a couple poor misconceptions, misinterpretations. The first one is that common people are poor. There are poor people who are common, but there are many rich people who are common as well. Because common is not about income. It's about dependence. It's about being soft. It's about having no internal standard unless external pressure forces one on you. The second misconception is that being uncommon means you got to be flashy, you got to have the Rolex, you got to have the Lambo, you got to be balled out. It doesn't. Being common is not about looking elite or acting superior. It's about being hard to manipulate. It's about following your heart and your path. Those are very different things. The uncommon operator sees more opportunity around him, questions more, thinks more critically, decides slower, and then commits deeper. So why do most people stay common? I believe it comes down to 5 things. Probably more, could probably less. But the first thing, they inherit their standards instead of building them. And I did this, frankly, up until 28 years old. Most people never consciously decide what type of person they want to become. They absorb the standards from the family, from their culture, from their coworkers, and from whatever content, honestly, they consume on a regular basis. Because if the environment is average, the law says the person becomes average. Not because they chose average, but because they never interpreted it. Number 2, confusing pleasure with progress. Modern life trains people to chase emotional relief. We all know this, not meaningful advancement. So instead of asking, is this making me stronger? The common person's going to ask, does this make me feel better right now? And that question is what leads to the common life, because immediate relief, instant gratification is rarely the same thing as real growth. Number 3, they just don't understand incentives. The operator learns to ask, who benefits if I stay distracted? Who benefits if I stay insecure? Who benefits if I never develop real discernment? Because once you start asking these questions, the world begins looking different. A lot of what is sold to people is not designed to elevate them. It's designed to capture attention, money, emotion, dependence. But stick with me. Stick with me. These next 2, these are the hard-hitting ones. Never building bomb-proof self-trust. They make promises themselves over and over and over again, and they break them over and over and over again. And through enough repetition, they eventually just stop believing in themselves altogether. Stop believing they're good enough, they're worthy and deserving enough. And this is the most dangerous thing a person can lose. Because once you start trusting your own word, you become easier to control by your mood, by the pressures around you, and by other people's opinions. The uncommon path begins with the person rebuilding the self-trust through repeated action, not motivation, not speeches, daily action, day in, day out. And number 5, surrounding themselves with this internal narrative to protect their ego. This is just who I am. I don't want to burn out. I'll do it when I have time. I'm doing better than most people. Hey, let's be real. The last one, it may be true. You may be doing better than most people. But if most people are coasting through life, that is not a very high bar to set for yourself. Now I'm going to say something right here that is going to get some of you to push back. And I want to hear it. Tell me in the comments. I think most men in particular are confusing being hard with being present. They're out grinding 70-hour weeks at their job, calling it a necessity to survive and support the family, but their kids barely know them, their relationship is hollow, and they can't sit in a room for 5 minutes quietly without reaching for their phone or having to get up and go do something. This is not strength. This is avoidance with a work ethic attached to it. Part of me, honestly, feels like this when I lock myself in my office and I'm learning and building my YouTube channel, but I schedule time for my family and things around the house. Scheduling is so important. And if you agree with me on this, then drop a yes down below. If you think I'm way off, tell me why. So to shift gears now, we're going to go into solution mode. I'm going to talk about the filter that I promised you earlier in this video and what we can actually do. We need a filter. We need a practical one, not something that just sounds deep, but something that is usable. So these 5 questions are critical. These will be linked down below, but ask yourself these 5 questions. 1, does this make me more capable or more dependent? 2, does this sharpen my judgment or bypass it? 3, does this build discipline or just stimulate desire? 4, is this aligned with the man I say I'm becoming? And number 5, would I respect this choice if nobody clapped for it? Answering these questions will stop bad decisions and or just wasted time from happening. I ask myself these questions all the time now, try to keep myself in alignment with what I'm doing. And this goes deeper than just being more productive. This goes deeper than just your own self-improvement. This is really whether you are going to become a directed or a managed man in life. The directed man knows that life is always trying to shape him through the media, through outside resources. So he chooses what he shapes himself with on purpose every day, chooses what he watches, what he eats, what he practices, what he tolerates, the standards he lives by, and most importantly, the examples he's setting for those around him. Where the managed man, on the other hand, just absorbs whatever is around him and then wonders why he feels weak, confused, and behind as the years go on. The uncommon operator understands something that most people miss. Hear me out. Your life is always being trained. Always. By repetition, by environment, by the media, by your peer groups, by your daily tolerances. So if you are not intentionally training yourself upward, then something else is training you downward. There is no neutral. A great book to read is The Slight Edge. I'll drop it down below. The goal is not to become impressive. The goal is to become real, reliable, clear, resilient. Become hard to fool, hard to bend, and hard to buy. Don't sell yourself. This is what makes someone uncommon, at least in my opinion. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you believe the difference between being common and uncommon really is. Now, wrap this up. I got a challenge for you. So we can stop acting like common is harmless just because it's been normalized. Normal is being poor and being okay with it. It's being overweight and being okay with it. It's being distracted and realizing. It's being reactive and knowing there's a problem. It's being overstimulated, underskilled, and dependent on your mood and if you have approval by others. Why would you or anybody by that means strive for normal in a culture that is creating weak outcomes? We shouldn't. We shouldn't. This week, I want you to look at your habits, your excuses, look at the content you consume, look at what you tolerate, look at the standards you've inherited without even questioning them, and then ask yourself, where have I accepted common because it was convenient? Where am I being shaped without realizing it? That's where this starts. It's not having some perfect plan. It's not reading the right book. It's having sharper observations. Once you can start seeing the pattern, you can stop cooperating with it. And this is the first step out of common, learning to see better, learning to judge better, choose better, and become the kind of person who cannot easily be trapped by comfort, hype, or low standards. That is the uncommon standard, and we need to start living by it. So this is the first video of a series that I'm going to be releasing. I've been putting so much work in the back end to learn and improve as fast as possible to bring you better content every upload. If you got value out of this new structure, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to continue pushing myself, creating more content that is around this personal development structure of life for men who feel trapped, overworked, underpaid, not worthy and deserving, not good enough. My next upload is going to be all about the perfectionist. It's going to be how we get stuck in this trap trying to achieve our goals and feel like we have to do everything perfect or else it's not going to work out. You want to know how unperfect this video is? I don't know if you've noticed yet, but my mic's not even on a boom arm. Doesn't need to be perfect. Sit down, figure out what you want, build the game plan, and execute. Go out there, be uncommon, and I'll chat with you here on the next video. Later.